The internal rate of return is one of the more popular methods to use, even though it's got some issues with whether or not it's the best method. But what it's doing is it's telling you what return you're getting on your investment as a percentage. So if I invest $3,000 today, and these are the cash flows that I'm going to receive, what percentage return is that? So we just did this problem as a net present value, and we used 10% as our cost of capital, and it had a positive net present value. So that means it's returning something more than 10%, but I honestly don't know what that percentage is, and I'd have to basically use a little bit of a guess method. So let's say I could try 11%, and then I could see if I could discount these off and make my net present value equal 0. So that would give me my internal rate of return. So I could say equals 1 divided by 1 plus this 11%. And I'm going to hit a function F4 key because I always want to use 11% raised to the power of the year. And I would have my discount amount, my discount factor. And I can use that for all 4 years. So I would multiply these out equals the discount factor times the cash flow. And then I could add these discounted cash flows to our outflow and see if they equal 0, which would mean then this is our correct internal rate of return. This is the return we're earning on this project. So we'll see if that works. Equals the negative 3,000 plus the sum of our future cash flows. And we end up with 107.87. So it's more than 11%, but we're moving in the right direction. So then I could start guessing and say, well, I made progress, but not nearly as much as I needed. So let's make it 12%, or make it 12%. Still close, but not there. 13%, and I'm very close. So then I could start entering 13.1% and try to, again, just kind of sneak up on it. So I could try 13.2%, and now I'm too far. So, we can continue to try to do this, but pretty labor intensive to try to solve this problem in that way. So a couple of different ways that we could do this quicker is just to use the Irr function that's in Excel is the easiest way to do this. So we go under Financial, and we find Internal Rate of Return. And all we're going to do is put all the values here. So different than the way that we do this with net present value, because in net present value we would skip year 0. Here we're using them all. So we just slide over all of them. So they're all selected, hit OK. And then let's get a little bit more detail. And the correct answer was 13.11%. We can do the same thing with the other project. So equals internal rate of return. And the result would be 11.38%. So with internal rate of return, if you're judging between two projects, your decision is based on which one has the highest net present value that's greater, which one has the higher internal rate of return, but it still has to be greater than the cost of capital. So in the project that we started with, we said the cost of capital was 10%. So both of these projects passed that mark. It's greater than 10%. But if I had to choose between them, if they were independent projects, I would choose project S because it has the higher internal rate of return. So now I'll show you one quick trick that you can use. Not that you would need it with the internal rate of return, but this trick works on a lot of other projects, and that's to use Excel to go find an answer for you. So on your Data tab, and I'm going to slide this down where you can see on the Data tab. You have something called what-if analysis. And under what-if analysis, we use goal seek. Slide this back up now. So what goal seek lets you do is to find an answer to a question. And so what the question that I'm trying to get answered here is, how can I make this cell equal 0, which is what internal rate of return is doing. It's making the net present value equal 0 by changing this discount factor. So we hit OK, and it finds a solution for us, which matches over here, 13.11%. So the goal seek can be pretty valuable if you need to find a numeric answer and it's based on data that you've input. So that's one way you could also find an internal rate of return.